Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Free Lunch, Free Food for Your Soul.
What did you say?
Free food for your soul.
Free food for your soul.
Dang, Chaka, you can't be killing the intro.
I didn't hear you.
Well, the intro really wasn't for you. It's for the audience, my listeners.
Okay, my bad.
Free food for your soul, y'all. Big shout out to our sponsors this season. Dobie Revolution Orthodontics, helping you love your smile. Guys, for all those needing the smile corrections. And Frii Branding LLC, the best version of your brand starts right here. Shout out to Track Major Productions, one of the greatest producers in the area. For all of you artists out there looking for a unique sound, he's got you covered. And without any further ado, let's get into it, guys. This is one of those unplugged episodes, except we're actually plugged because I have all the mics set up. Normally, I'd have these like by myself dolo, but considering the overwhelming nudging I've been feeling, I said, you know what? Let me reach out to.
I did see that.
Let me reach out to Dr. Chaka.
I saw that.
Because Dr. Chaka is familiar with the nudging, y'all.
I am. Maybe that'll be my name.
The nudging slash
The
shoving.
nudger.
The nudger? I love that. That might have to be in your bio.
Nudger.
Hashtag nudger.
The nudger.
Nudger accomplice.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
For the people feeling nudged by God, and then you come and be God's assistant and help them out.
Yes.
That's like an instigator.
No.
That's not right.
Called a witness.
A witness. Accountability partner.
Okay.
Called.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've been thinking about like having something like that I wanted to, explore this idea of like for other entrepreneurs and small business owners, like this like mentoring thing, but better than mentoring as a word, and I'm sure people apply it different ways for themselves, but for me, the way I digest the word when I hear it from other people, it always seems like this one directional encounter, which it's not to seem like negative, like that's just what it is. Usually, a mentor that you have in a certain industry or area knows more than you, and so you're like the student, they're the teacher. But for me, when it comes to this like entrepreneur thing, I feel like so many of us, regardless of the varied points in our journey as entrepreneurs we may be, I find one may have something that I don't. I may have something that they don't. And so when I think of, this thing that I envision wanting to have, where like entrepreneurs really just kind of like sharpen one another, the word, instead of mentoring comes up, the word accountability partner comes up.
So let me just kind of stop you a little bit. There's when you get to a certain point in your career, when you're starting out.
Are you saying regardless, entrepreneur or working for?
Regardless, when you get to a certain point, like when you let me back up. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Chaka, by the way.
Yeah. Let her back up.
Let me back up. I'm Dr. Chaka. I am an experienced educator who is very much invested in the nonprofit space, but I'm also a motivational speaker, and I guess Chris has deemed me the nudger. Go check that podcast out on my episode, Dr. Chaka.
Check the link in the description.
Check the link in the description if you really want to be pushed and shoved. But there's two things that folks need to, if you're on the receiving end. Mentee. There's coach and there's mentor. Those are two different things. And when you get to a certain point in your career, you're not going to be coached anymore.
That's
you're not going to be mentored. No, those are two different things.
Oh, yeah, you got to break that down.
Those are two different things. So in the beginning, you are a mentor. Mm-hmm. Like for me, right? For someone who's coming in who's new, I am going to mentor you. You're going to shadow me. There's a point of accountability. I'm sharing with you insights. It is a give and a take, right? It is a give and a take. I'm giving you feedback. There may be some moments. I take mentoring extremely serious. When someone comes to me and they say, hey, Dr. Chaka, I want you to mentor me, I take that extremely serious, but I let them know it requires a lot of work. Because you're just not going to call me for advice. I'm always going to
You're just
give
not gonna be
you.
blowing my phone up.
You're not. I'm not going to always be there for you to give you advice. You have to do the work in the growth of mentorship. Coaching is the next level. Coaching means I'm giving you some guidance. You are doing the majority of the work and you're reporting back out to me. That is the next level in people's careers. Mentoring is here. Coaching is here.
Yeah.
So when folks come to me and they are asking about, I have questions about this level of my career, I'm always trying to decipher where they are in the process, if they need to be coached or if they need to be mentored. Two separate things.
Do you ever find, like, as an individual for yourself, do you ever find yourself sort of vacillating between the two?
Who, me, when I seek advisement?
Yeah, like,
So yeah, I
like,
know
could
now
there
the
be
difference
in the
between
same
being mentored and being coached.
No, I'm saying in the same industry or field that you're in, like, right? Could you be along the same path and at some point find that you need, like, coaching, and then sometimes feel like you find
Yes.
that you need, like, mentor, like, it's,
Yes. So coaching, so for example, let's do education, the space that I'm most familiar with. If I am a soon to be, and I've been assistant principal, district supervisor, all those wonderful things, right?
Yeah.
All those yada yadas. You get to a certain point in your career. Let's say you're going from being in the classroom
Yep.
to now you want to be a building administrator.
Yep.
You don't need to be mentored. You need to be coached, because that's a different space of leadership. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're an entrepreneur,
But if it's your first time in that building,
you still need to be coached. You need to be coached.
Not
'Cause
mentored?
You need to be more coached than mentored. Coaching, because I'm going to, again, the accountability piece. I'm sharing, but you're doing most of the work. That's the difference.
yeah.
Doing most of the work. If you say I want to be mentored, you just want to be introduced to other like-minded principals
Yeah.
in that space across the country, and you want to learn what's going on in the field of education. That's mentorship. But if I want you to do the work of how to be a good leader, of how to now supervise other adults in the building, like do parent engagement, curriculum development, all those things, I'm coaching you.
Yeah.
That's different.
So where I am, I think one of the key things I look for in either of the two words you were throwing out there, accountability partner or in a mentor or in a coach, we'll throw a third one out there.
You may not find an accountability
Well, I'm
partner and a
saying-
mentor. You're gonna find an accountability partner and a coach. I don't look for an accountability partner to a mentor, and I'll tell you why.
Well, no, I'm saying if I'm looking for either of those three.
Yeah.
I'm saying if I'm looking for either of those.
What is your definition of accountability, though? If you're seeking advisement up, not doing giving, what are you looking for in accountability from the other person?
Well, I was taking the conversation into.
This got real deep real fast. Sorry.
I was taking the conversation in a direction of saying, regardless which one of those titles or labels I'm looking for, and regardless of the context that I'm looking for it in, the field, right? If I'm looking for an accountability partner, if I'm looking for a mentor, if I'm looking for a coach, to me, I think one of the key things that I desire in all three of them is this degree of transparency and authenticity for the person.
That's different.
And I think that that's applicable for all of them for me. And what I find is the challenge in seeking out any of those, again, doesn't matter which one, is finding the one that has that authenticity, has the transparency, but also this other piece called humility.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, something I came across this morning, actually, on social media, that I saw pertaining to church folk, not that it's relegated to that or only unique to that industry, but people who have a wealth of knowledge, have a wealth of great um, uh, connections, lived experience, all these things that would make them otherwise fantastic accountability partners, fantastic mentors, fantastic coaches. But that humble piece is missing, and it just breaks my heart to see that when I come across it.
Why? Everyone is not meant to. You can't do that. Everyone is not meant to be a mentor. Everyone is not meant to be a
for
coach.
sure.
The same way as everyone's not meant to be an entrepreneur.
Talk about that.
So
Everyone's not meant to be.
Everyone's not meant to be.
We
an
need
entrepreneur.
workers.
You need workers. There's a balance. My husband tells me all the time. He tells me all the time, Chaka, I can't do what you do. I can't do that. He said, I am A-okay. And you got to respect that. There's a balance. Is there not? There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. So
I'm laughing at its very blunt.
But it's very basic.
But people don't swallow that well.
People don't swallow. They think everybody wants to be a boss nowadays. Everybody wants to stand on business.
That's what social media tells you. Social media tells you you're supposed to be a boss.
I did a quick little reel a couple of weeks ago, I don't know how long ago now, and I said I have this tendency to give these little quick tidbits in my car sometimes when they come to my thoughts. And I said, folks don't understand the reality of being a boss. I'm a boss. I own multiple businesses. And it was 9:30 at night. It's not fun. On a Friday night when probably my team was out partying, but I'm getting ready for a huge event that we had the next morning, a huge press event. 9:30 at night, and I go, oh my gosh, we don't have this major piece to this thing that we need for tomorrow. But who's the person that's responsible for that? Could I text my team and go, stop partying, stop chilling. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Nope.
Stop chilling.
All on me. No one, it doesn't, it's not for them. If it was, they would have noticed it and would have brought it to my attention if they were ready for that level of, expectation or commitment.
How long have you been in this entrepreneur space?
Oh, I've been an entrepreneur for 22 years now.
What's been the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur for you?
Life space balance, being married, being an entrepreneur.
You've been married for 20 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's the hardest. That's the hardest space because sometimes
and you have
your business.
You have kids. How many kids?
I have two.
2 kids?
Yeah. I've had my children during the process.
How old?
Both my kids are teenagers now.
Mm.
Yeah. So, that's the hardest part.
Is the balance.
It's the balance because there's nights when I'm up planning events or.
Because you don't have an 8-hour day.
No, I've never had an 8-hour day.
Fast aggressive.
No.
The hell no.
No, I've never had an 8-hour day in all my years of being an entrepreneur.
She said, in all my years of being anything,
no, I have 24-hour days. I have 24 hours, 7 days a weekdays. And I talked about that too. It's yes, there's boundaries and I get that and I understand that. But when you are the leader and it's your vision, you're on. I'm sorry, you're on. And so where it comes to work-life balance, if my husband is like, hey, I want Netflix and chill, we all know what Netflix and chill means.
Come on, boo.
And I'm just like, okay, but my brain is literally off in business land.
Oh.
Planning, yada, yada, yada. And when the Netflix and chill is over and the computer comes out and I'm just like, boom, 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 boom. My husband's looking at me like I have 30 heads. Like, are you serious right now? And I'm like, I just got to get this thing out. I got to schedule this email. I got to all these juices are flowing, yada, 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 yada. It is the work-life balance. Even my kids will tell you. I take so many business calls in the car. My children could probably hold business meetings at this point.
That's a fact.
Trust me.
Listen, okay. Before COVID, when I was doing a lot more touring and doing my music thing, I would be, every chance we jumped in the car, I'd be playing my music, rehearsing. So in fact, all my kids know the lyrics to all my music. They were like, I done heard that 100 times, 200 times. My poetry, everything.
But my kids also know how to space out.
Yeah,
So I'll be on a call.
that's true.
And then I'll be like, I'll tap my door and I'm like, X, Y, and Z. And she'd be like, what? And I'm like, you're not listening to me? She was like, no. Like, they definitely know how to also space out if mommy's on a call, or my husband too. He knows how to space out and separate the two. But that took years of, I would say, respectful disruption.
Respectful
Disruption, because those calls disrupt family time.
Oh, heck yeah.
Right?
Well, that speaks to the boundaries part you just mentioned.
But in the beginnings, my husband was not happy with that. Why you got to be doing a call? Why you got to be doing this? Like, it's my time, so forth and so on. And I'm just like, babe, it doesn't work like that. Like, I can't turn it off. If I turn it off,
I mean, so how do you find like your boundary? What does that look like for you as an entrepreneur?
Now,
because you know that we need boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So where do you draw those lines?
Oh, now I've gotten better. Where my daughter even tells me a lot, like, are you gonna shut it all off? Like, when she says those things, and I have to shut it off, or it's mandated.
Like, is there a day?
No, it just creates itself. I'll say, today I'm not doing anything from this time to this time. So you there's a wait time or vacation time.
You have an approach, it sounds like, where
it's not scheduled.
You simply just keep your ear to the ground of your family and your home, and know, hey, it might need to be a moment right here where I gotta
or it's my son's getting an award at school, and I'll say to my husband, hey, Drew's getting an award at school, 1:00. I'm going to block out my day from 1 to 5. Nothing to do. Let's take him out right after that for dinner and just have like alone time with him. Be like, all right, cool. But it has to be a conscious effort on me to acknowledge that something for the family's about to happen. Or
you have to be intentional.
You have to be intentional.
Yeah,
You know, you have to look at it and just.
I like that, because I think a lot of times we've other entrepreneurs I spoke to doing the balance thing, they've, and myself included, but this is what works for my brain. I have to have it. Not that I don't have room for the, random time, but I have to have a schedule. I have to on the calendar, and earlier in our marriage, my wife felt icky about it, but I think she kind of gets my brain now. She felt some type of way about being a item on the calendar. That made her feel some kind, somehow less than.
She didn't have to know though.
No, but I think I might have just told her, just out of just transparency. But for me, again, how my brain, everything is chaotic in my head. And when I say chaotic, that means so much is occurring at the same time. The visions, the dream, the goal, the new idea, and the schedules of everybody, the things that have to be done, the things I want to get done, right? So because of that, I mitigate my stress by putting everything on a calendar. Mm-hmm. Like I'll put walking the dog at this time on the calendar.
Okay.
Just to help my brain. So when she found out, again, not so much now, but early in our marriage, when she was like on the calendar, she felt some way. But for me, I was like, hey, listen, that's me being intentional about making sure I stop the chaos from week to week of my day to make sure, hey, this time, every week, I want to be yours. And then I have another day on the calendar that every week on that day, I want to be the kids. Now, throughout that week, it doesn't mean that, so everybody away from me. No one gets any time. It just means that every week I feel good knowing I'm guaranteed an intentional pause for my family.
And that's fine. That takes time and growth for her to accept that.
Yeah. And she's gotten to that point now
where my husband goes.
We've
gotten to that space now where my husband goes, is it on the calendar? No, seriously. He goes, like, what's on the calendar for this week? What's like You'll get there.
Yeah.
Everyone will.
No, we're good now. It's a
running these businesses,
running machine.
But
now.
Your children too, they will. My daughter knows. She's like, put this on the calendar. My daughter will say to me, she would say to me, I need to be here on this day at this time. I need you to put that on your calendar.
I need you to have it on there. Because I know if it's not on there.
Because I know if it's not on there, I'm not going to be there. Mommy's not going to do it. So that's the entrepreneur life.
So do you have like like with my I'm a girl dad, so how many girls I have now? That's so bad when you got to be trying to think for a second how many kids you got. I got 4 girls. All right. All of them love their dad to death. They all got to get their 10,000 words in a day with dad. So me being an entrepreneur, to them, and this is for me, full-time entrepreneurship has only been 2 years old. When that happened in their brain, that meant, oh, so daddy's available all the time for us. Right? Because since dad doesn't have
my daughter definitely thinks I'm at her disposal every single day.
So what
even
we had
during school day, even during work. You're at work? Yeah. Okay, but where are you? I'm at work.
I'm at work.
But like where? I'm in a meeting. I'm in Stanford. I'm in Hartford. Oh, okay. Well, can you come do this for me?
Yeah.
No, I'm at work.
So what?
Well, don't you control your own schedule? Don't you work for yourself? Can't you just do this for me?
You're like, you're the boss.
Yeah, but I gotta work.
So this is what we came up with, and this has worked for.
I love it. That's their privilege.
This has really worked for them before for me, so they would have these times just random throughout the day. They would be calling my phone, and I'm at having a meeting, consultations. I'm doing this. I'm recording, and so I told them, listen, this is how you let dad know that you need me to absolutely pick up the phone. All right. We have the double tap rule. Okay. You call me once. If you see I don't pick up or I send you straight to voicemail, that means I'm busy. But also imparting to you as my children, I am never too busy for you guys if you have an emergency. You are the things that matter most to me, not no amount of work. So if you have an emergency,
ask me if you want to play a game.
So listen,
right.
so if you have an emergency, I need you to call me back to back twice. And then that's my cue to tell whoever the client is, hold on just for a second, I got to take this or whatever.
See, I have a different rule.
So for the most part, the punchline test story is that for the most part, it works, except when they're like really hypersensitive or hyper emotional moment. And for them, it's an emergency. And I'm going, listen, guys, that wasn't an emergency.
Yeah, but see, for me, I'm a little, I have like anxiety when my kids call, no matter what it is. If my son is calling, he's like, I forgot my football girdle. Can you bring it? Like, I'll still pick up the phone. If my daughter calls and she's like, so-and-so's getting on my nerves. You don't
tell them that was a text? You could have just texted me that. I forgot my football girdle.
I literally will always, my kids know I will answer the phone. Mm-hmm. If I absolutely cannot answer, because I always think something's an emergency. That's just me.
Oh, that's you. That's not them doing that to you.
No, that's just me. Okay. Well, yeah. I just always, because they don't call me for nothing. They don't call me just to say, hey, I just want to say, hey. They don't. So when they call, I just always know it's something. I
mean, for my girls at least, they will call me. Hey. No, they will call me what I deem as nothing. It'll be like, hey, Dad, so I just found out Zendaya is the voice for that cat. And I'm like, come on, man. Come on, man. That's, to me, I'm sorry. That's a either text or you can wait till Dad gets home for that. All right. Yeah, right?
But like, how old are your kids? What's the range?
20, 17, 14, 13, 1.
Oh, so your 13-year-old's the one. Oh, my 13-year-old is not making those.
No, I'm talking about the 13 to the 20-year-old. They are doing that.
Just nonsense calls?
Because Dad is the boss. And they know, hey, Dad's available. We could just call. And I'm like, come on, guys.
No, I don't get chit-chat calls.
Really? But you know what? That might just be how,
I'm telling you, they've been raised around the business for 20-some years.
See, I'm fairly recent to the full time.
They know mommy's not chit chatting. Mommy don't even chit chat on the regular with other people, so she chit chat with us. When they get older, though, I'm gonna be all in their business. Like, what you doing?
How do you go? Circling back to the point I made earlier
about mentor and accountability.
Well, about the humble piece. How are you? What helps you as the mentor to others or the accountability partner to others, the coach to others? What allows you to stay humble in those spaces so that you're not losing opportunities to impact those lives in the way that they need?
So in the beginning, I used to mentor a lot of people just because a lot of people were just attracted to me, right? And I found myself talking more in those conversations versus listening. And as you get older, you grow. And so now if someone says to me, hey, Dr. Chaka, I want you to be my mentor, I am doing more listening than sharing out my own experience, because it's not about me anymore. You're coming to me because I already lived that thing. I already did that thing. I need to hear from you what is happening for you in order for me to give advice. And when you want the advice, and what do you want to do with the advice I'm about to give you? I think that's where humility comes in. Most people who are mentors get to a point in their career and they just want to like gloat. But you also know I'm very spiritual, so you're not going to get all that gloating and all that self-talk and all that I. You're not going to get that from me. That's self-serving. If you're coming to me for mentorship, I want to know what do you want? I think that's where humility comes in. If I don't want to talk about anybody, but there's a famous person who people think that it's a guy. I'll tell you off record. But like people go to him for mentorship, but he's very self-serving. And he just talks about himself all the day long. All the day long. So what are you getting out of that? Nothing. Because you can't live his life.
Yeah.
You can't walk in his shoes.
The person who's the mentor
Right.
you're talking about. Okay.
I think that's where humility comes from. If someone calls me and says, hey, I'm having this problem, I'm having this issue, I'm asking more questions about what you're going through to learn more about the why and the root of what you're going through and how you want to respond. But I'm also a certified life coach too. So that comes also with like training and things like that. So that's where humility comes in. I'm asking more questions than I am sharing, well, I would do this. And when I was in your shoes, I did this. And
but
let
I
me tell you
think
about
what I want is
that your word of humility, or you're thinking something else?
What I want you to zero in on though is it sounds like you're telling me more of a state of being and where you are and why that's a good thing. But how did you become like that? What thought processes do cross your mind that keep you humble? That's what I'm more
because
so
I've
wanting
had
to know.
mentors. So there's one person who I had as a mentor. Now she's more of a colleague and a friend than a mentor. But she told me early on in my career, Chaka, watch everyone that you're under. This is when I was aspiring for principalship. And this can pertain to any profession, entrepreneurship, business, ministry, whatever, athletes. Watch everyone who's in the position that you want or who's supervising you and keep a running list of all the things that they do that you don't like. Make a list of all the things that they do that you don't like, so that when you ever get the position to get into that position, you won't do those things. Those things may be things that they do to people. It may be things that they do to themselves. It may be things that they do to the profession. Now, those last 3 points I've added myself. When she gave me this advice, it was list all the things that they do that you don't like. I've added over the years, list all the things that they do to people, things that they do to themselves, and things that they do to the profession. That's what I've learned. So when I'm mentoring people, that's the lens. That's how I got to that space, because it's a serious thing to be mentored. You can literally lead somebody down to destruction, or you can lead them into success, or you can lead them into blindness. I take mentorship extremely serious, and people who get mentored me know, like, no, she's serious. Like because I'm gonna hold you accountable to your own success. I have mines. I'm gonna hold you accountable to your own. It has nothing to do with me.
I like that. That is awesome. Right? Keep a list. Keep a list
Of the things that you don't like, the things that they do to people, because every profession is going to deal with people.
Yeah, that's a fact.
The things that they do to themselves. So the things that they do to themselves may be they work too much. They overwork. They sacrifice family over work. Those are the things that I don't like. So I make a list of those things, because to me, family matters, right? Or they don't take care of themselves. I've seen people physically work so much that they physically start to kill themselves. List those things that I don't like. And then things that they do to the profession that I don't like. How they talk about the profession. Do you walk the walk? Do you talk the talk? Are you the person who's one way and then you go into politics and you're around another group of people and you another way? Like, all those things to me matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there something that one particular attribute you admire or look for the most in your mentors or coaches?
My mentees?
Your coaches, the people that you go to. So like coaches for you.
The people that I go to.
Is there one particular quality you're looking for?
Don't be coming after my money.
That's not a quality.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the people who seek coaching.
That's not a person attribute.
Don't know. There's a lot of people who
don't be coming after my money.
Astronomical amounts for coaching.
True. That is true.
And they're and they say, well, if you're not at this level, then you can't afford me. That to an extent is true, but why are you leading with that? So that means that this relationship is not a relationship, it's more of a transaction.
I love the just brute honesty and Dr. Chaka ain't no joke.
It's the truth.
She said, don't be coming after my money. I'm thinking she about to say, be authentic, have experience. She said, don't be coming after my money.
No, because it's a transaction in a relationship. If I want you to be my coach or my mentor, it's a relationship. Yes?
Yes. All right. Well, pass the money, Dr. Chaka. What's the...
That's the level that I'm at in my career, so that it'll give you some relation, I guess. Because I have to pay for coaches at this level now.
So past the
crazy.
So assuming the coach or mentor is,
I still mentor people for free, by the way.
by the way, FYI. So past that part, what's the most important attribute? For you?
A good listener.
A good listener.
You said if the person who I'm seeking coaching from, a good listener.
Yeah.
I'm also seeking confidentiality. So I don't want you gossiping about my stuff.
I like that.
Like if I come to you and I'm having a workplace experience.
That's big.
And it's like a real workplace experience. Well, everyone's workplace experience is real. What is this? What is it? Oh, it's free lunch.
Yeah, free lunch.
It's real.
Free food for your soul.
That was free food for your soul.
Yeah.
So
chew on that. She said chew on that. You know what I'm saying?
So if you are going through something serious, I don't want you spreading it like wildfire in your own little network of people. Because more than likely, whoever my coach and my mentor is at a table that I'm not at yet. More than likely.
That was a bar. Run that back. I'm gonna do you this solid, Dr. Chaka. Run that one back, because I ain't gonna let you.
More than likely, and this should be a true thing for everyone. Your coach and your mentor should be a person who is at a table that you are not at yet. So I've had coaches and mentors who I've had over the years. Like I've said, some have become colleagues and friends because I'm now at the table. Now I need to go seek another mentor coach at the next level. I get to that table. I need another mentor coach at the next level. Every coach and mentor is for the levels that you want to get to. So when you ask for what am I looking for, no matter where I am, I'm looking for humility. I'm looking for confidentiality. To me, that is key for me. Does that make sense?
I love that, man. I didn't even think of that confidentiality piece.
Why would you, as an entrepreneur,
that's clutch.
You would really stay with the same coach after you got, or the same mentor after you got to their level? So let's say you want to be a millionaire. Mm-hmm. You start being mentored by a millionaire. You become a millionaire. Mm-hmm. You don't want to now be mentored by the next billionaire?
Yeah.
You want to stay with the millionaire?
No, you're right.
All right, then. You at the table.
But I think the confidentiality piece is so crucial for just like you just said. I mean, if the idea is that you're moving in this progressive motion, like you're going to get to the next level and potentially now seek to do business with or network with those people who the mentor or coach you might have had was a member at that table, right? Or in that network. That's why you can't share those certain things, is because even if the coach, again, happens to believe in you as well, and they know you will one day be at that same table or in that, niche or network of people, then they shouldn't want to have your business or whatever out there amongst it.
So with confidentiality, though, also comes a spirit of the mentor coach, a spirit of not feeling competition or not feeling what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh yeah, feeling threatened by
the mentee.
Yes, because
so I'm also looking for that, because that's a thing
everywhere.
That is a thing.
Every industry.
So as soon as, and I felt this by some people, as soon as I feel it, I'm exiting stage door left. We are now just coworkers or whatever you want to call it in a space together in the same profession. But nah, kid, I'm not talking to you no more. I'm not seeking advice from you. The moment I feel like you're threatened by me, or the moment I feel like you feel like I can't share that stage because that's your stage, I'm out. I've left jobs because of that. Like it just, I don't believe in that. I am the type of person, yes, I have a vision for different things. I'm a visionary. I'm a doer. I'm a leader. That threatens a lot of people. So if I'm seeking a mentor or mentee, they need to not feel threatened by any of that.
And it's weird because a lot of those, at least the encounters I've had, correct me if I'm wrong, for you and your experience when you see that, is they're in that whatever higher position or next level or space where you shouldn't be.
Right. I've only experienced that very few times, but it's been the most impactful times of my life.
It's
very few times, but it's been the most impactful lessons learned.
Because in my mind, I'm going, again, I've said this on the show before, to me, I think that happens for people who think for me or for them to empower me means they must be powerless.
Yeah.
And that's not true. We can both be empowered, right? And people are trying to disempower others who have potential or try to beat them down because they believe if I empower you, that's going to somehow be some threat or bad thing for me.
We all can't be at this table together.
That's that. What's that other
crabs
mentality
in a barrel.
They call it?
Crabs in a barrel.
That, but it's another word. That lack mentality. That there's not enough. There's not enough.
Yeah.
I gotta douse that flame you got because you on fire. You on fire.
But if I am on fire, I'm gonna still be on fire because God's gonna move me away from your craziness. And we're gonna go right this way. We're gonna go like this. I'm not gonna go here. We're gonna go like this.
If you think you gonna put out my fire,
it's all right. It's okay.
So how many, do you have like a rule in your mind for like, because you said before in the beginning, you started out having like a lot of mentees, like you mentor a lot of people. Now, do you have like a rule of like a cap, a number you put on it?
No, not a cap or a number. It's as soon as I have that first call and I'm listening and I'm like, okay, are you going to do the work? And I give you one assignment and you don't follow through, I'm good.
No, but I'm saying,
there's no cap.
Is there such thing as there being too many for you to just?
They drop themselves off.
I mean, because you have a limited bandwidth.
They drop themselves off.
Oh, so just by the nature of
the nature of the process,
you just know that everybody not going to be able to go the distance anyway. No. So you're like, I don't need to have no cap.
No, I don't need to have a cap because those who really want to be mentored.
She said, I don't need to have a cap because most of y'all are cap.
I did not say that. And that is not equivalent. That doesn't even equal the two.
I don't need to have a cap.
That is not
because a lot of y'all capping.
That's not true.
That's essentially what you're saying, though.
That's not what I'm saying.
But I agree.
That is not true. That doesn't even. Those two things don't mean the distance.
That is the same. If people be gassing, talking about they ready. I'm trying to do this, and then you give them one task.
And then they give them one task. They're going to drop themselves off.
Exactly, because in the beginning they was capping. That's what I'm saying.
And then when they call again or they want to schedule a time, I'm not available.
Listen, exactly, because they was capping.
Oh, you're not.
You just don't like the word. You just don't like the term.
But I will see you in public and I will give you all the love and I will hug you. I will give you the big Dr. Chaka hug. I give great hugs. I will give you the big Dr. Chaka hug. And I'll say, how's everything doing? And they will say to me, listen to me, Chris. They will say to me, oh, I still need to connect with you. And I will graciously say to them, And those of them who had this happen,
Tell me what you said, because
I
I
will
gotta
graciously say to them,
I gotta use it.
no, you don't. That's what they say. I still need to connect with you. I go, no, you don't. Why? Because you're not ready. That's not a diss.
Give me some. I love
That's
it.
not a diss.
No, but it's a
people have
response.
done that to me.
I need a response.
Chaka,
though.
you're not ready.
What-
And that's a ooh. Because when you're ready, you're gonna make yourself ready to do this work and
Yeah.
get to the next level. I've had mentors and coaches say that to me. Not a lot. It only took
Okay.
me like 2 times for somebody to tell me I wasn't ready. And I was like, oh no, we about to be ready.
about to make it. No, but that's why I've unfortunately, as it is, I've allowed myself to be frustrated with lending my time, and why, again, some people don't like it, but this is, we as entrepreneurs, as coaches, consultants, whatever you want to call it in your space, all of you listening who fit those titles, you guys have experienced this and you know what I'm talking about. This is why you have, in the beginning maybe of your consulting or your coaching, you may have been doing a lot of it pro bono or for free, like Dr. Chaka says she still does, bless her heart. But this is why I've had to go to charging a lot of people for consultations. Why? Is because I've had consultations, a gajillion of them, for no money, for free, sitting for 1, 2, sometimes literally 3.5 hours. I've sat with people.
No. But see, Chris,
Hold on, wait. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
Let me opine, because I'm kind of low key going off.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, because y'all know who I'm talking about.
It's counseling.
But go that distance, pouring into people, and only to find out later that, to Dr. Chaka's point, which is why I like that term, I'll be stealing it, I'll use it, is that you find that they're not ready, or you have other things where you set up a Zoom call. I know you consultants out there are familiar with the Zoom call setup. Many of us use that. Okay, how many times you find an individual that, hey, I want to set up a call, or where sometimes they call them discovery calls, or whatever you consultants call them for you in your industry, and they don't show up on the call.
Right.
Or they show up on the call and they show up and they in a middle of something entirely else going on in the background. They clearly are not locked in, engaged, or paying attention, but you are, as the consultant. You've set aside the time to make sure you're prepared for them, their questions, to make sure you're actively listening and ready for them, or to be met with an individual that you realize is not ready.
So listen, let me stop you. Anything over 15 minutes for me, anything under 15 minutes is free. After that, even if you're my friend, I'm being honest with you. I go, hey, this is turning into what I do for a living. You know I have a mortgage to pay. I have my kids.
And it's 17 minutes right now.
I will send you my link, and you can get all of my undivided time through a structured process.
Yeah.
Some people are like, okay, cool. And some people are like, oh, Chaka, really? I have a friend of mine. She's one of my sorority sisters. I'm going to name her.
I know you ain't send a sorority sister the link.
No, let me tell you.
You did not.
Her name is Kashana Palmer, and Kashana is
She gave her last name. Government out here.
Kashana Company, or Kashana and Company Co. I can't remember the name of the business. But let me tell you, that is my sorority sister. We pledged the same year, so we're Sands. Straight up business. I called her years ago, needing some advice around fund development. She was like, yeah, Sands. This is how the conversation started. Yeah, Sands. That joint went over a certain time. She was like, Chaka, what I'm going to need you to do is book this call, because this is how I do business. I said, Kashana, you serious? She said, absolutely. Now mind you, we have done business together since then, because she set the bar. She is a businesswoman.
I love it.
You can't stop, and we do this to Black people. We do this all the time. Because you're my friend, I feel like I got to get something for free, but you got bills to pay.
No, that's facts.
And I do that to other people who are vendors for me. What's your price? Oh, well, Chaka, I'll give you a discount. I didn't ask you to give me a discount. I said, what's your price?
What's the price?
Because I don't want you asking me for a discount when the tables turn.
What's the price?
You understand what I'm saying? So stop doing that. If your friends are in business and they do a thing and they're great at the thing that they do, pay them. Because if not, you're going to be mad when they leave that community seat that they're in and go off into Calabasas. And then you be like, oh, you left the hood, you left us. Well, y'all wasn't paying me.
That part.
So I tried to stay.
They
So
start treating
anyway,
you like Dion.
well, that's a whole nother conversation. That's a loaded, layered conversation. But to and even like a couple of months ago, I reached out to Kashana, and I was like, hey, and I'm y'all need to go work with her. Work with me, but you work with her too. But,
you guys are in the same
sorority.
Industry.
No. She does fund development.
Okay.
I don't do fund development.
Okay.
She's a fundraiser. She's a certified
Gotcha.
fundraiser. So she does fundraising for corporate organizations, nonprofits. Like that's her area of expertise, and around strategy and planning for that. And so a couple of months ago, I was like, hey, I want to book some time with you about some strategy that I want to plan for my organization. Yada yada yada. Oh, it was a business call. It was a transaction. It wasn't. We spent like 5 minutes, kiki ha ha, and it went straight into business.
The kiki haha. And then she sent you the link.
And then it was like, Chaka, this is time. This is all you get.
What's the price?
So again, if you want to be serious, going back to my point of you're not ready. There's so much free you can get. When you're ready, you will respect the process. You will respect the business. You will get what you need out of me when you're ready. I can't keep calling Kashana for the free. I got to respect the business, knowing that she's an expert in the thing that she does and she has something that I need and that I want. People need to come to us and to me for the same thing.
Yeah.
I am a motivational speaker. I am a grant writer. I am an educator. I'm an administrator. I do professional development. I do so many different things. You can check me out, higherheightselevations.net.
Link in the description of the podcast episode.
Link in the description of the podcast. But like, don't come to her and say, "Oh, I know her so well."
Yeah.
And they want to get the free. I still have a business to run. You still have a business to run.
It's called Frii Branding, but it's not free.
No, because you're gonna call me, and we're gonna do business together, and you're gonna be great.
I'm gonna tell you what the price is.
And you're going to be mentored and you're going to be coached, all of those wonderful things. And by someone who's humble, who holds confidentiality true.
Oh, man.
Who is an expert at what they do, right? Regardless of what industry you're in. You're going to be great. See?
I love it. So before we wrap up at the end of the show, the free food for your soul, you gave us so much already, but we like to have the audience have something like food edifies the body, something to edify their soul as they leave and meditate and chew on this episode. What do you want to send them away with?
Grace, gratitude, and God. How about that?
I love that. Grace, gratitude, and God. And without any further ado, it's free lunch. Free food for your soul, y'all. Peace.